the Dallas Winds has got this fabulous program in January that is devoted to, on the surface, animals, and of course, it's so much variety. And your piece, Flight of the Elephant, wow, is all I've got to say. it,
Thanks.
it's very new, right?
Yes, very new.
And
About
I'm just
yeah.
going to ask you to tell us the story. I mean, I've gleaned a little of it. I've been able to hear it online, which is certainly not the same thing.
Uh-huh.
And talk about a Gesamtkunstwerk, a kind of a total artwork. This is it, isn't it?
Absolutely. I was very honored that Brian Lamb, who's director of the bands at University of Central Oklahoma, where all the other my other collaborators are professors. He asked. They came up with this idea and came and asked me as the composer to write the music, and but we didn't know what it was going to be about. So about
Oh,
a year and a half ago, I drove up to Oklahoma and sat with everyone, Amy Johnson and Sam Ladwig and Jimmy Wimmer. She's the one that did all the illustrations for the film, and we all just got together and got a storyboard together and came up with the story of Flight of the Elephants, and it was supposed to benefit the Wild Aid Foundation. We knew it was going to be the elephant theme, how to save the elephants, but we came up with this great story about Amelia, who's the young female elephant in the story. She's the hero, and she tries to find a way to save her herd from all the hunters. And boy, the drawings came out. And my role is like writing a motion picture film, like a score to that. I had to wait till everything was finished, and I was so inspired after that meeting. But I had to wait about 6 or 8 months to get the material. And when I did, it was just fantastic. The drawings. It's not like a motion picture film. It's a segment, animated segments of pencil drawings,
wow.
and it's all into like a film, 30-minute film concept. And so it's I love, as you can see, probably behind me, my piano rolls behind me. I love silent films. I like so this kind of was new modern technology with drawings into a film music atmosphere, and the audiences really seem to like it.
Oh, I bet. And that's what I was going to say, but you just said it. That this is back to the silent film era where you had the very, black and white and the captions at the bottom, and then the composer making all the atmosphere. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, and it's kind of like an opera, or like John Williams does in his scores. Amelia has her own theme throughout the piece, and sometimes when it's the same theme, but it's sad at sometimes, but at the end it's very heroic and happy and uplifting. The other characters also have their own themes. So my 7-year-old son went to the premiere, and he was able to follow the characters through all the different themes, and it was kind of like an opera and a movie at the same time. It was very interesting.
I'm sensing Wagner's approval, aren't you?
Yes, Wagner's the leitmotifs were very approved by Wagner.
Now, you didn't get to see any of it beyond that meeting until you had it in front of you. But does that mean you were already thinking about this gorgeous theme for Amelia? Were you already thinking themes before you saw it?
Yes, I was. I was improvising those things, and I knew a general storyboard, but I couldn't really begin until I knew all the timings uh, of how long the sections would be, or the story, how the story was going to be told. And so I came up with some material and other material I didn't use that kind of relate to those. But for me, as a composer, less is more. So I wanted to make sure all the characters were represented well, and to follow the story as best as I could.
So, did you have any opportunity? I mean, I'm always thinking about that great prototype with Alexander Nevsky and Prokofiev and Eisenstein, where Eisenstein would shoot and then say, "Here, Sergei, do this," and then Sergei would say, "Could we please have 5 more seconds of this?" Or could you adjust anything? Or with this is the sequence? How much collaboration thereafter? I guess is really the question I want to
Yeah,
ask.
yeah, that's a great question, because after my score was finished, a few things were changed with the film, and so I had to. Fortunately, Sam and Amy were very very good to work with, and so we adjusted a little bit of the music, but they also adjusted the slides a little bit to capture things. There's one point where Marvin is a bird. If you ever see elephants at the zoo or on television, especially in Africa, Marvin is the bird that's an oxpecker, and they're on the elephants eating the bugs, and so there's one point where he grabs a bug off of Amelia, and right at the dress rehearsal, I think I put a percussion slapstick during that time, and so I had to adjust the score, and they had to adjust I think it was the night before, we had to adjust that part of the film, which is great when you collaborate with such wonderful artists. We're all used to improvisation and spontaneity, and so that was great to know the collaborative team that we have, and to make those changes on the fly. And I didn't make the final score, the final score, until after that first performance.